Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. Welcome to Beloved Beauty Monthly for the month of March. If you're new here, Beloved Beauty Monthly is a monthly video that I do where I just kind of catch you all up on the channel about what we did in the prior month, which would have been February, and what our plans are for the month of March. Often I do come with a little bit of inspiration as well as some personal sharing because that's who I am. I am a very transparent person. I'm a very relational person. And so we'll combine all those things together today as well. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is what videos did we do in the month of February? We did 14 videos, that's crazy because that is more than 3 a week. No, that's not quite. Let's see. What's the math? I don't know what's the math. But anyway, we did 14 videos, which was really good because February is a good month for me generally, like personally speaking, but I was sick a lot in the month of February. I was able to push through a lot of things. I missed a little bit of time at work. I had a fall, just a variety of things happened in February, but March is here and I'm very, very glad. So in February, we started the Beginner Journal Making series, which is a series geared toward beginners, obviously. And we did part 1, which was the introduction, where I talked about what the series was going to be about, what it was going to look like, and how we were going to start. And then we did part 2, part 3, and part 4 in the month of February. So we got all the way. So we did prepping the signatures in part 2 and creating the cover base. In part 3, we did the cover, the hidden spine, and we sewed in the signatures. In part 4, we did the envelope flip insert, which I broke into 2 parts, so that was 1 of 2, and then we did the second part of that one, which was where we just stuffed that thing full of ephemera. So we put some pockets on, and we put some things in the pockets, yeah. So the envelope insert itself is just all constructed with envelopes, which gives you a lot of room to stuff journal cards and such. So in addition to that, I did simple stuffed envelopes. We did Beloved Beauty Monthly for the month of February, early in the month. We also did my Whopper organization video, which, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Like, not to pat myself on the back in any way, but I need to give a shout out to sweet Yvonne over at Memory Journals by Yvonne, because she did a 2-part craft room studio tour where she shared how she organizes an enormous amount of things, but she shared how she has binders where she slips in a paper or a cover sheet, or sometimes the ephemera and the pages themselves, to remind her of what she has. And I realized when I watched that how out of control my digital files are and have been, to the point where I don't know what I have. I didn't know what I had. And so, and my computer storage is also a mess. I'm working on that. That's very, very slow because I've been collecting digitals for 4 years. So it's a lot of files, really a lot of files. And I didn't spend a lot of time on that in particular in February because I just had so many times where I was, excuse me, I was needing to catch up from not feeling well, from this, from that. And so then when I would get back in the studio, that was time to record videos and continue with projects that we had started. So, but that was amazing. So I bought 8 binders. I'm not using all the binders for the digitals because I had a binder for my stencils and it was falling apart. So I did, and it was a really big, thick binder. So I got 2 to replace that one. And so I got 6 for digital. So they're all broken up in a way that makes sense to me. And what was really cool about this, beyond what it did for me, was how it inspired other people to do the same, to kind of take ownership of their studio, to take ownership of their digital files, their computer files, and find a way that would work for them to track their digitals. And I am loving it. I am loving it so, so much. And now when I'm looking for a particular background paper, I can just pull out a binder and say, oh, that background paper would be perfect to print on the back of these images, or this particular background will go good with this journal theme, and so on and so on. So I still have a lot of work to do, but I am well on my way. So instead of my digital files, in terms of my computer tracking being in, moved on such and such a date from my desktop to another part of the computer, I put them all in my Etsy download, and they all the sellers, the creators, all have a folder now. So now it's a matter of just kind of making sure that that I have a representation in my binders for every digital file that I have. So I have a lot of work to do, but that was epic. I was so excited, and I was so excited by how it inspired other people, and that's why I'm here. I love the fact that in this community we get a chance to share things that work for us, share, practically speaking, like organization videos, but in terms of also inspiration and all of that, but the community itself, where everybody has something to offer, and you never know who you're going to touch, you never know who you're going to inspire. So I was so glad that happened, and so thank you, Yvonne, for sharing your space again. I saw her tour previously, but I really liked this one, and I like how she thinks. I like how she organizes things, and because when you get a lot of stuff, you can forget. So she has a system where she can kind of have a spattering of things kind of around her that just remind her that she has those things elsewhere stored in her studio. So that's really, really great as well. So kind of went off on a tangent there, but we also did a 5 flip writing space. I was so proud of that one because I actually thought it up myself, and it was the one where we had, it kind of looked like banners, or I don't know what you would have called them, but they were 5 flips, and absolutely fun, fantastic project. Was very, very popular. We also did a 3-pocket flip thingy. I didn't know what to call it, so it's a 3-pocket flip thingy. So you can check out the channel and look at just the videos in February if you want to see any of these. I did Sunday's Art of Truth in February. It was my granddaughter Kenzie's 14th birthday, and so I made her a mixed media piece, which every year I make her something. Usually it's mixed media because that's my passion. One year I made her a strawberry themed journal because she is a strawberry girl. I mean, she could live on strawberries. If there were only strawberries on the planet, I think she'd be fine still. So I made her one. It was called She Has a Love That Blooms. And so in my Sunday's Art of Truth, I shared the inspiration behind creating that piece and why I chose the things that I did for it, and kind of how it helped me process my own life and my own view of the world, as well as reflecting on my own childhood and really celebrating how different life is for her than life was for me. And that's not a poor me story. That was just reality. And I'm so glad that she has stability, that she has a safe place to live and be and make mistakes and grow and explore and play and all of that stuff that every kid deserves. Every kid deserves that. And so she loved it. She told me when I gave it to her that she has to change things out on her walls now because she just has too many, because I've made her a lot, but she's also made her own. So it's pretty cool. So we did that, and then I did specimen window dangles. That was fun because I've told you guys before, I don't do fiddly things on camera. It's very overwhelming to me. I feel very stressed. That being said, I did take off my acrylic nails, which was a huge decision for me. I've had them for a long time because I always struggle with my own nails growing, but they are doing okay. You can see that. Not too bad. My biggest problem now, if you guys have any tips, is the cuticles. Like, my cuticles are just a mess, especially on my right hand. So, but I'm really glad I did that. I think I'm going to be able to stick with that. And I'll go into another part of that later, as it pertains to that choice, just on a personal note. So anyway, that made that video possible, that I could actually pick up beads off of my table and I could actually work with beads. So there's just something about not having that acrylic on. Even if my nails get a little long, it's still different because your own nails are part of your own hand, right? Whereas acrylics feel kind of foreign. So we did also, most recently, I did layered mixed media journal cards. All the videos that we did prior to the one I'm talking about now are all for the Frosty Winter Journal, aside from the Beginner Journal series, which is the one where we're using the Odolcina kit called Dressing Room. So, but otherwise everything else was for the Frosty Winter Journal, which is, I have enough ephemera right now to do the journal. I said all that to say the layered mixed media journal cards were completely off the beaten path. They are cards, mixed media girls from Sweet Pea Curiosities, and I was just in that reflective place where I was thinking about my granddaughter and thinking about myself and thinking about the tenacity of the human spirit and just processing my own big feelings about those things. That's why I created the cards, because the images speak to me every time I see them, and I was really, really pleased with how they came out. It was very therapeutic for me to do them. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. I kind of shared with you how I layer things and kind of what my thought process is for that. And then the last video we did in February was our double waterfall paper clips. That was so popular. I think it had 500 views in 3 days. I mean, it was over the top. So I'm really working hard at finding ideas that are out of the box, because that's what people want to see. And so sometimes you can take a basic functional piece like a paper clip or a journal card or a pocket or a flip, and you can put your own spin to it and make it unique. And I think that's what people are looking for. And so I was really happy that that hit the spot for a lot of people out there. So very, very fun. So now true confessions. So let's see. December Christmas break was over 2 months ago, where I had these big goals of finishing a bunch of my journals. I have not done anything. The Christmas journal is still sitting, the grungy Christmas journal is still sitting in its same state. We sewed the signatures in on camera, and then that is all I've done. I haven't touched any other journals. And so I have big tasks ahead of me. I have the beach journal, the Paris Love journal, the boho journal, the Christmas journal, the 2 flip-flop Christmas journals, and I think that is it. And we are like maybe 60 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. So I have to get that boho journal done, because it will be the giveaway, the grand prize giveaway for the 6,000 subscriber prize. So I do select more than one person for a winner, but the grand prize will be the boho journal. So I have to get going on that. So there'll be more coming. I'll do a separate video where I talk about what the requirements are for, or qualifications are for winning the boho journal. Unfortunately, it is limited to the United States and Canada. And but I'm going to try to figure out a way to, I know I keep saying this month after month, but I recently won a prize in a group, which I was so over the moon, you guys. I was just like so surprised. And I know that she had mentioned, she's in the States, and she had mentioned that given the option that if a winner was outside of the United States, that you can do PayPal. So I don't know if that means sending money via PayPal. So I'm going to look into that and see if that's an option for our international friends. So I will come back to you on that. But we will continue the beginner journal making series. We are probably a couple of videos from being done, maybe 3 videos, because I've got a video in the works we're going to be making some simple ephemera, and we'll also be adding some of the pre-made ephemera, like the pockets and things that come in the kit. And then we'll come back, probably do one more ephemera video, and then we'll do the cover, decorate the cover. So I haven't quite gotten there in terms of what my plans are. I haven't really dreamt about that, but we will definitely bring you along. So probably 3 more videos of that. We are also going to be, we also did, let's see, so I mentioned lots of studio organization I've done. I got a new cart from IKEA, absolute game changer. I know I said I was going to share it in a video, but I will share it at the end of this video. But it's pretty large, but it's nice because over there, I have a space between the end of my desk and my Calyx unit, and I can just roll that out so that I can get to the drawers, and I can push it back in, because I have a very small space, so I have to be very creative with what I have in here and how I can kind of shuffle and move things around. So lots of that kind of what I call persnickety things when I get overwhelmed, or I get lost, or I get I just need a reset. I clean, I organize throughout my house, throughout my studio. So I've done some changes in here that have really helped me. When I did the Whopper organization video, I also talked about all the baskets that I have. I live with baskets because I have the Calyx units that have the 2 shelves in there, and those work really well. I have baskets from Fred Meyer that hold a lot of stuff, and those are mainly my project baskets, but I labeled them all. I put a string on them with a square label, and so now I know when I just look, oh, that's the winter journal, that's the Let's Play dress up journal, the boho journal, the grungy Christmas journal, and all of that. So I can just look at a basket, and I don't have to think about what's in that basket. I don't have to go rifling through it to figure out what's in there. So that's really, really great as well. So as I already mentioned, February was a lot of illness, a lot of stress at home. Not in a, kind of in a bad way, but it moves to a good end. So my husband will be 63 in September, and he has decided to retire early. So he was going to try to work until he was 65 at least, but the job is just not good for him. It is costing him a lot of peace of mind. He gets paid very, very, very well. But he has a huge burden of responsibility. And so he is going to retire in October, which is just crazy. You know, when you're in your 20s and your 30s and you're like thinking, oh, retirement is so far away. But it's like, it's here for our family. Like I'm going to be turning 60 in May, so I still have, and I'm going to work until I'm 65, God willing. But he's going to retire early, and so he will not just like quit his job and stay at home. He'll find something else that he can go do that will be less stressful, and but that means a huge shift in our finances. Thankfully, we have, and this is just a private disclosure, we we have virtually no debt. Like, our house is paid off, our cars are paid off, we have a boat that we're still paying off, but that's it. We have a boat payment. Everything else is paid off. And so we're in a good place for him to make this decision. But I refuse to put a burden on the finances at that point in time, which leads me into my next topic, which is I am very much considering selling my work again. When I was doing primarily mixed media work, I have a huge stash of beautiful art it's down in the garage in a heat regulated room. And so I have all of that's just sitting there of no use to anyone. And then I have everything that I make in here. I have just so much stuff. And I have, my journals are in demand. People want them. And I'm not, again, saying that to pat myself on the back. It's the recognition that people like what I'm doing. And so I'm thinking about pursuing that again, but I told my husband that I would not do that unless he gave me the okay to go ahead and talk to a tax person so that I can figure out all the legality of, how do I get a business license? What are all the requirements? What do I have to do? I will not do Etsy. I did Etsy before, and I believe that Etsy is a robber. And, I do business with Etsy. I buy from Etsy, but I do not want to sell my work on Etsy ever again. So I am going to be looking into Ko-fi and looking at what the differences are, what are the benefits of one versus the other, and talking with an accountant about how you do all that. How do you figure the taxes? And because Etsy is really great in that they do all the taxation for you, and but you're still responsible for remitting things to the state and remitting sales tax and all this stuff. And it's just over my head. Now, I'm not solid that that's what I'm going to do, because I don't want this to become a job to me. I want it to continue to be a joy and a choice. But it would be a way for me to bring in some extra income. And so I'll be looking into that and see if I want to do it. So, but I'm super happy for my husband. He has been the breadwinner for this family we've been married 42 years. So, raising kids, and he's always been the one where that burden always fell on him. Even when I was working and I had good corporate jobs over the years, it always still fell on him. And I am so glad that pressure will be removed from him in many ways, and he can go about doing something that will revitalize him and allow him to move through the latter years of his days with joy and relaxation and fulfillment and all of those things. So I'm super, super, super happy for my husband, Tim. So what else did I want to talk about? I jumped around big time, you guys, because I said we would finish the journal making series. So we will do that. We are going to be starting the Anne with an E journal, and probably not this week, which is today's March 3rd, but maybe next week we'll start into that. We'll have to see. So if you're following along, I got those kits from Angela Kerr Designs. I will try to remember to link it down below in case you want to check them out, but we will be doing that together. We're not going to be doing a beginning to end series or anything, but that's the stuff I'm going to be working with. So I have some friends out there that are excited to be able to work around that theme. I will also be doing Sunday's Art of Truth again for the month of March, and I hope to be doing some mixed media art journaling. And you will have already seen, I don't know when you're going to see it, but I did episode 3 of how to mix mediatize your journal pages, and that was where I did some collage work. That was what I call dry mixed media, and so I want to do a little bit more of that in an art journal as well. Plus I want to bring you along as I experiment with some other techniques in my art journal. So I'm trying to think if there is anything else. I do always like to ask, is there anything that you guys need or want, or anything? I also am working a little bit harder at making some videos shorter, to see if I can help bump the channel up a little bit. We kind of stalled out for a while where there was just not much viewership, and I'm thinking that maybe the videos are too long. Now I can't always make them shorter, but I'm working hard to figure that out and bring content that is closer to 35, maybe 40 minutes at max. So I am working on that as well, but I would love to know if there's anything that you'd like to see on the channel that I've not talked about, or that I'm not doing, or I haven't done. I want to hear that. And so please leave it below in the comments, and I will respond back to you, and I'll keep a list of the things that you guys are talking about. And I think that is it. This was a little bit longer than I like to go for my Beloved Beauty Monthly, but it just kind of flowed. So I hope that you guys are doing well, and that you are in your creative space and you are doing what you love, as I am doing what I love. I feel very blessed to be able to have these supplies at my fingertips, and that we can create together and inspire one another. I love that so much. So I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and over there, that is Penelope. I always forget to bring Penelope into the camera. So, because I moved the sewing machine was over here to my left. But Penelope is our mascot for the studio. So isn't she so adorable? Ah, she's my sleeping bear, and she guards the sewing machine. So I need to bring her on camera a little bit more often. She doesn't really notice because she sleeps all the time. So I will talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.